I wanted to talk to you today about your wedding day and just to give you a few tips and advice from me. One, because obviously I've been a bride and there are some things that I probably would have done differently on my wedding day, realizing that afterwards. And obviously, most of this has come from being a wedding photographer for many years and just kind of seeing um, how things work and just having that perspective of having been in a wedding, having my own wedding and being in a separate wedding, and just seeing weddings overall and just kind of getting the feel of kind of what works, what doesn't, and what kind of makes each couple happy at the end of the day. And I think some of these things are things that are things you may hear before you get married, but don't really take to heart. But I think over the years, these are the really important things that I think afterwards a lot of people might regret not doing. So take some of my advice, just think it over. It's nothing that you have to necessarily do, but a lot of times, it's only a one-time shot for your wedding. I guess I don't want to make it sound like it's a one-time thing. Maybe that sounds bad the way I'm saying it, but just going into it, making sure that you're fully prepared and that you won't regret anything afterwards. So first piece of advice would be to have a day of coordinator. This doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you hire that is a professional wedding coordinator, but somebody that's close to you, that's been with you throughout the wedding planning process and knows how the day should be going along, that can keep track of your timeline and your schedule, and that can basically be a clone of you, so that if anyone has any questions about where things need to be, what's going on, they don't have to come to you because you're stressed enough already. There's a designated person that people can ask questions, that can come to you if they need to, but you trust them to make decisions throughout the day. If something's going wrong or something's delayed, you don't even have to know about it. I wouldn't want to even know about it because then that's just going to make the day more stressful for me. So if you can find somebody, either hiring a coordinator or finding a really close friend that's been with you that knows exactly what's going on for the wedding day, that can coordinate the timeline, make sure people know where they are, where they need to be, and what time, and can be the go-to person for answering questions so that you don't have to worry about anything for the day, I would highly, highly recommend doing that. And make sure it's not like your mom or anyone in the bridal party that has other responsibilities. This needs to be someone that's their complete role. So a really good friend that maybe isn't in the wedding party, maybe an aunt or a cousin, just somebody that you trust. So definitely hire someone or have someone there to help you throughout the day. And that's also not like a personal attendant, because a personal attendant is going to be someone that's with you the whole time, making sure you have your makeup and that you have a bag of things so that if you need anything, they're there for you. This is somebody that can be anywhere else, worrying about other people, not just you, but making sure that you don't have a worry as well throughout the day. Second is doing a first look. Now this is really controversial, and I hope to put up more on my blog sometime about basically what I talk about, and then kind of showing images and examples of what a first look might be. So first look is going to be you seeing each other before the ceremony, so not waiting until you walk down the aisle. At my wedding, I waited until we walked down the aisle to see each other because I got married 5.5 years ago. I liked the tradition of it, and it was fine, that's fine. But I did really learn some things from that. So as a photographer's perspective, it's always easier time-wise to get everything done beforehand and see each other beforehand, because then you have time between the ceremony and the reception to spend time with your guests, maybe takes a few extra pictures, but everything can be done beforehand, and you don't have to jam in some family pictures right in between while it's kind of chaotic and everyone's talking to each other. I don't push this on people, and I just want to share like the pros and the cons to doing it or not. So if you don't see each other before the ceremony and you wait until we walk down the aisle, you never really get the chance to speak to each other quietly. You don't get a chance to talk to each other, to tell each other that you love them, to say, you look really beautiful today, because you're walking down the aisle and you can't, unless maybe you quickly, you know, whisper in the ear or something. There's not really a moment that you can have together in front that isn't in front of everybody, because you're done with your ceremony. You kiss, walk down the aisle, you walk back in, usher your guests out, maybe you're going to have to take all those pictures with family members, rush to get over to your reception, you're going to have the grand entrance, you're going to cut your cake, you're going to eat dinner, you're going to socialize, you're going to dance, you're going to go home. Oh, now you finally have time to say, oh, you looked really beautiful today. And nothing ever really slows down, but if you designate a time, and you can designate a time after the ceremony, definitely, just keep that in mind. That's, I guess, more of the point, is you need some time to just take it all in together quietly by yourselves. And that's what the first look can offer for you before everything gets crazy. So if you're going to choose to do a first look, what I do is I take the groom outside or maybe down the aisle in a location that's facing away from where the bride's going to be coming, and then we have the bride walk up to the groom, take some photos of her approach and kind of the anticipation, and then I step off to the side and photograph the first look, the reactions and everything, and kind of step off so that my couples can have that moment where I'm not telling them what to do. They can just enjoy seeing each other for the first time. So there's still that excitement and the emotion of it in that moment, as well as still in the ceremony, because you're still overwhelmed, everybody's looking at you, but you've already been able to see each other, and you can take the focus so much off of that in the ceremony. But if you don't choose to do a first look, what I learned from when I got married is that as soon as I turned that corner and started walking down the aisle, granted I only had 7 pews to walk down, so it wasn't a very long aisle, but you all of a sudden are just like, oh my gosh, you're looking down the aisle and you're looking at everybody and trying to take it all in, and you totally forget like what you're really doing. And I don't even remember, which is kind of sad, I don't remember the reaction my husband, like in his face. I don't remember at this point, I mean, maybe it's just long ago, but I don't remember seeing him as I was walking down the aisle. But nobody ever told me that this is the first time you are going to see each other on your wedding day, so make sure that you are looking at him, or, you know, if I'm talking to a groom, looking at her and not at everybody else's reaction, not like, oh, hey, I didn't know you were coming to the wedding, or, you know, as you're going down the aisle. I mean, that's not what it's about. It's about you and your husband, you and your soon-to-be spouse. And if you choose to not do the first look, I just really encourage you guys to make sure that you do not forget to focus on who it is that you're walking towards, or that you're marrying that day, and really just sealing in that reaction and the emotion of the day with each other, and not losing focus of that. So that was a long spiel on the first look, but pros and cons for both, and just advice depending on what you choose. And lastly, I wanted to tell you that, and this is kind of just short and sweet, that when you're planning your wedding, just to make sure that you keep it about you, and that to not get lost up in the trends like on Pinterest, or how much money you're spending, that it needs, you know, more money means more extravagant, more beautiful. Really just keep it about you, and whatever that might be. And make sure that it's not something that in 5 years even, because sometimes I look back, I mean, maybe that's a given for any wedding, but 10 years, 20 years down the road, that you don't look back and think, why did I do that? That wasn't me. I know people change over time, so you may feel that somewhat, but just really be thinking about and being very, I don't know, I guess maybe the word strategic or thoughtful about your planning, and that you are really incorporating you and your fiance into all of your planning in the wedding day, and making it really just about you guys, and not getting caught up in having it to be a wedding or about other people, because really it comes down to the two people that are getting married that day and the commitment that they're making to each other, and that is really the most important thing. So it's really easy to get caught up in all the hype and everything. I hope those things help you. If you have any other questions, since, you know, I always love to give advice to my couples, since I've been married before, I've been in a wedding and also photographed many, so I would be glad to give you any advice or answer any questions you might have while planning for your day. Hope you're having a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.